The Oscars just banned AI, but they forgot about this film. Hey everyone, it's Gilbert.K here. Welcome back to my channel. Gilbert.K Take is the segment where I break down the biggest stories in entertainment. My way, my take, no fluff, just the real conversation nobody else is having. Before I get into the Academy and their big announcement this week, I need to take you back because this story doesn't start in Hollywood. It starts in my house. Oscar night in my family was an event. And I mean that. It wasn't a background noise on a Tuesday, it was a production. We planned the menu. We talked about what to wear because depending on who's coming over, that night could turn into full party. People had their films. People had their opinion. People had their arguments. Somebody in a room was writing for one film. Somebody else was ready to go to war for another. And when that envelope opened and they read the name, you felt it in your chest, either as a victory or as a betrayal. I grew up believing that whoever won that thing, they won because they were the best. That was the verdict, the definitive answer. And for a kid who loved movies the way I love movies, that mattered more than I could explain to you. It took me years to understand that the Oscars were never really about who was best. They were about who campaigned hardest, who had the most powerful studio, who played the game. And every year, somewhere in that ceremony, a film that deserved to be in that room wasn't. This year for me, that film was Eternity, directed by David Frayne, released by A24. And I need to talk about it because what happened to that film and that the Academy just announced this week are the same story, and nobody's connecting those dots. Let me tell you what Eternity is, because if you haven't seen it, you need to fix that today. It's an afterlife romantic comedy from A24, and before you tune out, this is not a gimmick film. Elizabeth Olsen plays a woman who arrives in the aftermath and has 1 week to choose which eternity to spend forever in. The catch, the man she spent 65 years of her life with is there, Miles Teller, and so is her first love, who died young in the Korean War and has been waiting for her in the afterlife for 67 years. That's Callum Turner. It's funny, it's devastating, it asks the question, when you strip away time, circumstance, and the whole weight of a shared life, what does love actually mean? What are we choosing when we choose someone? That's not a small question, that is the question. And David Frayne made a film that handles it with more grace, more wit, and more genuine human feeling that most what did get nominated this year. Critics called it warm and heart-tugging and laugh-out-loud witty. The audience felt it, and the Academy looked right past it. But here's the part of the story that stopped me cold. While David Frayne was making a film about a death and eternity, he found out he had a brain tumor, the size of an apple, growing inside his head. He still made it to the Toronto premiere 1 week before his surgery. He stood in front of 1,700 people and introduced the film he spent 4 years of his life building. He sat in the audience and listened to them laugh and cry. And then he went on to have brain surgery. A man made a film about choosing what matters before time runs out, and then found out he was running out of time himself. And the Academy didn't even give him a nomination. Sit with that for a sec. So this week, the Academy dropped 3 rule changes for the 99th Oscars, and they might be the most significant changes in nearly a century. Let me walk you through them fast. First, actors can now be nominated twice in the same category in the same year. That rule has been locked since 1945. If you gave 2 incredible lead performances, only one could compete. That's done. Both can now be recognized if both rank in the top 5 votes. Second, and this one matters for films like Eternity, the best international feature film category just blew open. Films no longer need their home country blessing to enter. Win the Palme d'Or at Cannes, the Golden Lion at Venice, the Golden Bear at Berlin, or the top prizes at Sundance, Toronto, or Busan, and you're automatically eligible. No more gatekeeping by committee. No more Anatomy of a Fall situations where France passed on a Palme d'Or winner and a film had no path in. Third, this is the big one. AI-generated performances and AI-written screenplays are now explicitly banned from Oscar eligibility. The exact language. Only work demonstrably performed by humans with their consent can compete. Now, I want to be honest with you. None of these rules bring back Eternity into contention. That ship sailed, but they represent something the Academy has never really done before. Admitted that the system was broken, an admission matters to every kid who grew up planning Oscars night like it was the most important event of the year. The AI rule is the one that I keep coming back to because it forces us to ask a question that nobody in Hollywood wants to answer out loud. Right now, there's a film in production using a digital reconstruction of Val Kilmer, an actor who passed away last year. The Academy just said that performance is no eligible for an Oscar. And there's an AI actress named Tilly Norwood who has been making real headlines. She's not eligible either. And here's what I believe. As someone who grew up in a house where movies were sacred, where Oscar night was a ritual, where a performance could make the whole room go quiet, let's put it this way. Acting is not the output. Acting is the sacrifice that produces the output. It's the decision a human being makes to stand in front of a camera and be completely, terrifyingly vulnerable, to carry a character home at 3 a.m., to lie awake wondering if the performance was good enough. That cost, the human cost, is what we celebrate when we give out that award. And AI has no cost. It risks nothing. It feels nothing. And if there's no feeling, what exactly are we honoring? David Friend made a film about eternity while fighting for his life. Elizabeth Olsen played a woman choosing between love and memory, while the director who cast her was quietly preparing for brain surgery. Miles Teller showed up and gave one of the warmest performances of his career. These are human beings who put something real on the screen. An AI version of that doesn't exist. It can simulate the surface. It cannot replicate the cost. So the Oscars were never really about the best film. We've known that for a long time, but they were always, at their best, about human achievement. The moment a machine can win one, that award stops meaning anything at all. Not because AI isn't impressive, because the award was never meant to celebrate impressive. It was meant to celebrate the irreplaceable. Now, I want to be real with you for a sec, because I think the Academy got it right, but they got it right without thinking through what happens next. There's no AI detector that reliably works. The Academy says it reserves the right to request more information about AI usage. That's not enforcement. That's a wish. What happens the first time a film wins an Oscar and then someone uncovers evidence the performance was partially generated? Does the Academy take it back? They've never done that. They don't have a mechanism for it. They've drawn the line at the right place, I believe that fully. But right now, that line is made of chalk and it's raining. I think about that kid in my house on Oscar night. The food on the table, the people in the room, everyone with their film, their argument, their passion. We weren't just watching an award show. We were participating in something we believed was a record of what mattered, what human beings had made that year that was worth remembering. That belief took some hits over the years. Films like Eternity got ignored. Politics won over art. And for a while, I started to wonder if the ceremony was worth caring about at all. And then this week, the Academy did something I didn't expect. They looked at what's coming, AI actors, AI scripts, digital resurrections of the dead, and they said, no, not here. This house is for human beings. Imperfect enforcement, incomplete answers, but the right instinct, and maybe, just maybe, that's worth something. David Friend made a film about what we choose to hold on to before the end. I hope more people see it, and I'll be here watching what the Academy does next. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. Now I want to hear from you. The Academy just banned AI from the Oscars, but they have no real way to enforce it. Do you trust Hollywood to police itself? Yes and no, and tell me why in the comments below. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching, and that's my Gilbert.K take for the Oscars just banned AI, but they forgot about this film. Don't forget to check other episodes on my channel and all podcast platforms for the latest films, series reviews, trailer reactions, and exclusive film industry interviews packed with tips, inspiration, and recommendations. More stories, more insights, and more movie magic waiting for you. See you next one. Until next time, Gilbert.K out.